So in this video I want to recap on how to remove the non-drive side crank arm on your bicycle if you've got a stuck crank arm that actually had a stripped thread inside. Okay, so for this bike I bought it used at as a vintage bike. Comes as a complete set of the bike. Works pretty good, except I want to upgrade the entire drivetrain to 9-speed. So at first I tried to take all the group sets off, and then later on I realized the bottom bracket actually uses a very unique design. It's one of those older bottom brackets with loose bearings. So I tried to take the bottom bracket out. That is when I try to remove the drive side of the crank arm, no problem, and then I tried to come back to remove the non-drive side, and the thread actually stripped inside with my bottom bracket removing tool. So it's pretty messed up, and so I have to find alternative ways to get this removed so I can actually remove the bottom bracket and upgrade it to a 9-speed with a cartridge bottom bracket. Want to share my experience with you guys on how I removed this one, as you can see. And before it was on like this, so there's no way for me to get it out. I tried to knock it really hard from the other side, just hammering it. It doesn't work. And I called a bike shop and I was like, can you guys remove it? And they said no, and your best bet is either to ride your bike for a little bit to let it loose, or just hack it off. And so I went with the hack it off route, because it's crazy, because last week I was in a bike accident. Some car hit me in the cross section and all my wheels are destroyed, so I literally cannot ride it. And now I need to come and service the bottom bracket and the crankset. That is when, you know, I find the only way for me to do it is just to hack it off. The way I did it is actually I made 2 cuts. And again, this is pertaining to the non-drive side, because on the drive side you have a chain ring which you probably have to remove first, and then you have to worry about cutting it like what I did here. Okay, so I made 2 cuts. I first sawed over here on this side, and then I went 180 degrees. I sawed on the other side, so I cut it kind of halfway through without actually digging into my frame or the bottom bracket ring. So once I made those half cuts, I started to cut it diagonally in between those half cuts. And the most important thing is you need to find the best angle which you can get your tool in all the way in, and then without actually scratching your frame. So this is the best angle I found, and it actually did the job perfectly fine. So as you can see, I started cutting and I almost cut entire way, and then I just took out my get my chainsaw off. I took off my hacksaw and I used my chisel and my sledgehammer, just knocked on this area very lightly, and the crank arm just fall off. So once you relieve the pressure in here, as you can see, I cut through all the way to the spindle. Once you have the pressure relieved, it's really easy to take it off. Okay, so once it's off, you can go ahead and remove your old style bottom bracket, which I have another video on how to remove those lock rings without the proper tool, and again how to get this little piece off, again just using your home tool, and it's entirely doable. Okay, save you guys probably a good $30–40 on those vintage bike tools if you're upgrading it to a modern, you know, cartridge anyway. So hope this video helped you guys, especially if you have a stuck crank arm like me. I'm glad I did it, and now I can go ahead and upgrade my bike after the accident, which is probably the best time. So thanks again, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Otherwise, see you in the next video. Take care.